In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 Yieldmax names that I'm buying now for growth. Yieldmax helps me earn over $500,000 per year in dividends, almost $600,000 per year in dividends. And after our Round Hill RDTE dividends come in, we'll be over $600,000 per year in dividends once again. And we're up 30% for the year. We're up 29.3. Yesterday, we're up 30%. The S&P's up 19, the Nasdaq's up 19, the Dow's up 10, and the Russell's up 8. We were also at 0.71 today, or $9,000. We blew away all of the indexes, as you can see above. So we're living financially free from our 9 to 5s using Yieldmax, Cornerstone, Defiance, Roundhill, and some margin. If you need help doing the same, email me for my e-guides at akintodd48@gmail.com. So I use margin to get ahead at this channel, but you can't live out of Yieldmax dividends because Yieldmax falls by the amount of the dividends. So you have to get growth. That's why I always preach Cornerstone. We have $410,000 in debt right now. My debt keeps growing because I keep adding more debt. It's not because my strategy is not working. I just re-add my debt once I pay my debt down. My debt was at 300 just a couple weeks ago. Now I'm back up to 400 because I'm buying tech stocks like Yieldmax on the dip. So we need growth or we die, because again, you can't withdraw out of your account with Yieldmax and Defiance dividends because they fall by the amount of the dividends. So you need growth so that when you do withdraw out of your brokerage account, you can still keep all of your equity in there and preserve your equity without reaching a margin call, okay? And you still want to grow, of course. You don't want to just stay in the same place for your entire life. And you have to have Cornerstone because Cornerstone gives you the growth. It's 4-star, as you can see on Morningstar, and it moves upper left to right on its chart here, as you can see by Morningstar. And on a 1-year chart, you can see that Cornerstone moves up. So it gives you this 20% dividend, and it goes up on its chart, as you can see there. So 20% dividend, and it drifts the dividend down at the NAV for free money every month. We're at, 16% premiums now every month in Cornerstone. So we take the 20% dividend, drip it down at the bottom for this 15.93% gain every month. And then it has a special rights offering almost every year where you can really level up your account. Most closed-end funds have rights offerings. Cornerstone is no different. So you need Cornerstone because it gives you the growth, as you can see here. Again, on a 10-year chart, though, it doesn't look like that. That's because you have to play it between its rights offerings, which is in my Volume 4 e-guide if you need more help playing Cornerstone. You need Cornerstone. You need these staple stocks. If you go into my portfolio today, you'll see how well our staple stocks were doing. We're up massively in some of these stocks. I mean, 10% we're up in Estee Lauder, which is in the staples section. We have other stocks, metals, 5% that was up, Valet. Misty was up 3.5%. So you need these other stocks that are indexed, and particularly defensive stocks. Brown-Forman up 3%, as you can see there. Dollar Tree up 3%. We're up massively in all these staples names. There's only a couple names that we're down in. And so this is how we're getting a lot of our growth, okay? You have to grow or die. Look at these gains in these columns. ConAgra, 14%. Mondelez, 12%. I've showed you this in past videos, but no one seems to care. They just think that they can live out of Yieldmax dividends and Defiance dividends and keep growing their account at the same time. They can't. You have to grow it with Cornerstone. You have to grow it with traditional stocks. I have all these other stocks in my portfolio. I have triple leverage ETFs. I have a whole blend of names that all of my members see in my live videos. Okay, you can see how I'm getting this total performance. We're outperforming the market on a given day, but you can't withdraw out of your account with Yieldmax. So you have to grow, and that's why I'm giving you 5 stocks with Yieldmax to grow with safely, I think. But remember, I keep all these stocks small. I keep my Yieldmax stocks at $1,000 positions. I keep my staple stocks at $2,000 positions. And then I keep my index plays at much larger amounts. Cornerstone, I have 300 grand in. But we can't live out of Defiance dividends. And Roundhill, you can sort of live out of because Roundhill goes upward, left to right on its chart, or at least it goes sideways. A lot of Yieldmax stocks go down, and a lot of Defiance funds go down. So how can you live out of your account? How can you withdraw freely from your account and live free from 9 to 5 if you're going to cannibalize your account with these Yieldmax and Defiance dividends? Because again, for the record, Cornerstone, it falls by the amount of dividends just like any other stock does, but it goes upward, left to right on its chart, as you can see here on a 1-year chart. And it barely fell during the recent correction. The Nasdaq is still not back at the highs, as you can see here. Now, QQY is still outperforming the indexes. I love my Defiance funds. They help me pay down my margin fast and help me grow my account fast. But just because we're making $50,000 in dividends doesn't mean that that's really what we're living with every month, because our account falls by about 30 grand a month from Defiance alone. Okay, Defiance, I get 20 grand from QQY, 10 grand from IWMY. my account falls by about 30 grand. So we can't just withdraw 30 grand from our account, or we're going to cannibalize our account. We're going to reach a margin call much faster if the market falls, and we're not going to grow at the same time. So we have 221,000 available for withdrawal, which means that we can withstand over 20% corrections in the market and still withdraw freely out of our account. But you have to grow your account at the same time. So I grow it with Cornerstone, I grow it with Roundhill, and I grow it with these other stocks that I just showed you. And I'm going to grow it with these Yieldmax names as well, I believe. I picked 5 names for you all that have low maintenance still, but can still grow on their charts, okay? First up, we have CONY, okay? CONY and Misty, to me, they're very similar, okay? They're both Bitcoin plays, but let's look at a chart of COIN, okay? COIN. You'll see that it's still way off the highs, okay? So Bitcoin looks like it has the chance to, have a turnaround right here. And if it's going to turn around, coin should be a good play on Bitcoin. And I don't like to have much of my money in Bitcoin plays because they're not the indexes, but it's an important asset class to have. You should have 3 to 5% of your portfolio in Bitcoin, professionals say. So coin, look, it's coming up against the 200-day moving average. It's significantly off its highs, but CONY is 100% maintenance, okay? So why am I buying CONY with 100% maintenance, okay? If you need help understanding maintenance, that's in my volume 3 e-guide. Well, first of all, we can sell naked options on CONY for 50%. I do the same thing with Misty and other Yieldmax names. I sell naked options to lower my margin and lower my risk. And if you need help selling options like I do, that's in my volume 6 e-guide. So CONY, okay, 100% maintenance. Why am I in this? Because we need Bitcoin exposure. Misty is doing well, but we need a little bit more Bitcoin exposure. So if coin is cheap and it meets our requirements of having some Bitcoin exposure, 3 to 5%, yes, it's 100% maintenance, but most Bitcoin names are 100% maintenance. You just have to keep this position size small. I keep it at about 3 to 4,000, no more than that. And I keep fiat as the hedge, FIAT, to hedge CONY, okay? So coin is cheap. That's why I re-implemented my position in CONY for more Bitcoin exposure. Okay, next up for you all, I have Google, okay? GOOG. Now, the reason why I'm buying Google is because it looks cheap on a chart as well. The NASDAQ has had a big comeback. It's still off its highs, but Google is still way off its highs. So I want to buy some GUI because, again, Google is off the highs, and I want dividends because dividends give you qualifying income to banks for loans. That's how we live free from a 9 to 5. Capital gains do not. Capital gains can make you more money, though, and you grow with capital gains. That's why we own other synthetics of Google, okay? We own Fangu, we own TQQQ, so that we can get this leveraged exposure with these Magnificent 7 names. But as far as the stock goes, I don't want to trade Google because it doesn't have much of a dividend. It can fall, it has headline risk, so I'll choose to stay in the indexes. But if I'm going to own Google, I want GUI because GUI at least pays a dividend. And so if it's going down, you're going to cash flow your losses over time because dividends help cash flow all losses again over time. In Cornerstone's case, you get the 20% dividend in 5 years, you cash flow, okay? Because it goes up over time, so you cash flow in 5 years. But Google is a stock, so I don't like to put too much in stocks. So let's look at GUI because Google is off the highs. It's right there on the 200-day moving average, okay? So GUI, let's just check the maintenance, GOY. Maintenance is everything to living financially free out of your brokerage account. Well, GUI is now 50%. Maintenance changes occur all the time. They go up and down all the time, so you have to stay on top of these maintenance changes. But 50% maintenance for GUI is pretty good, okay, considering that NVIDIA is 100% maintenance, okay? NVDY is 100% maintenance, okay? So that's why I don't own NVIDIA outright, but I sell naked options on NVIDIA. We collected $1,200 approximately just for selling puts on NVIDIA. It lowered our risk, it lowered our margin. I don't know why more people don't sell puts on NVIDIA. Just because I'm up in the total gains column here doesn't mean that's my execution. Look at all these gains and losses. These gains and losses are not true. They're not indicative of your true performance. You have to take the strike price, which is, let's say for NVIDIA, 25, and you have to say minus 6.65. That gives you your true cost basis. So if I was to get a sign in FAS right here, okay, we're down 125, but that's not true. If we got a sign early on these sold puts, we would be up, okay? And that's why we're not getting a sign, and you can't look at these total gains and losses columns. Same for dividends, okay? You can't look at your total gains and losses. You have to look at total returns, total dividends received, and when you sell options, you have to look at total premiums received, which is about $50,000. We just sell options, collect this money, lower our margin in the process, lower our risk, and we get more performance in the process. It's grow or die. So you have to use margin to get ahead, in my opinion. You have to sell options because they're lower maintenance and they lower your risk and they lower your margin and they give you performance. As you can see in our column here, QQY, it was up $875 for us today. How do we make 10,000 today? Okay, 9,000 roughly in gains. Well, part of that was QQY. You add all these up together and we're making nice days gains from our sold options. Again, if you need help selling options like I do, that's in my volume 6 e-guide. The key to selling options is picking the right strike prices, and I have all that laid out for you in my volume 6 e-guide. While we're on the subject of options, I also buy options for insurance. So if we have over a 20% correction in the market and we have, let's say, a 30% crash in the span of a month, then we'll make more money than we potentially lost with our put options. They were up almost 800% on Black Monday alone. They were up almost 2,000% during the recent correction. If you need help buying options like I do to insure your account, that's in my volume 5 e-guide. I don't recommend buying options all the time. They're a losing endeavor, but I like to have them as insurance. I buy $100 to $300 of option insurance per month, and that insures my house here, okay, from a disaster. If I lose $100 a month, I don't care. But if we go down 30% in the span of a month, you'll make $1 million on that $100. And I've done the math for all of my members at Discord and anyone who asks, okay? Just do the math and you get to $1 million on a 30% crash in the market, okay? You have to factor back in the VIX spiking, okay, to get your 1 million. That's easily achievable. Again, we were up 2,000% alone during the recent crash, and that was only a 15% correction. Imagine a 30% correction, okay? So I have my put options on at all times so I don't get margin called with Yieldmax. I also sell options on Yieldmax to lower my risk and get more growth. But for today's video, we're talking about the 5 Yieldmax stocks that I'm buying for more growth, because again, you can't withdraw out of your account with Yieldmax and Defiance. You have to use Cornerstone, you have to use some margin to juice your returns, and you have to sell these options to get more returns and lower your risk at the same time. We were talking about coin and then Google. Next up, we have TSMY, okay, Taiwan Semiconductor. Why am I going with TSMY? Because it has 50% maintenance, okay? NVIDIA, for some reason, has 100% maintenance. If you look here at the maintenance, you see it's 100% maintenance, and TSMY is 50% maintenance. So I bought some TSMY today for the growth. It's had a run, okay? It's had a run back to the highs, it looks like. So I wouldn't be buying TSMY right now, but if you wanted to own NVIDIA, but you couldn't because of the high maintenance of 100%, you could own TSMY instead. It's not as high quality as NVIDIA, but it's 50% maintenance and it moves up with semiconductors. So TSMY is another name that I'm buying. I like to sell puts on Soxel for my premiums and to lower my risk in semiconductors. As you can see here, Soxel, we have 4 contracts at $15 roughly. So that was, you know, a substantial amount of money that we received from Soxel, about $6,000 there. It lowered our margin by $6,000. It lowered our risk. It lowered our cost basis. So that's how I play my semiconductors when I'm not selling puts on NVIDIA like you saw above or buying TSMY, okay? I like to get my semiconductor exposure through Soxel, but beware, Soxel is high maintenance and it decays. So be careful with Soxel. It's not for the faint of heart. That's why I'm recommending TSMY for semiconductor exposure, but I'm not recommending that over NVIDIA. I just like the maintenance. And when you're living free out of your brokerage account, what can you do? You know, for every $1 you put in your account, you get $4 of purchasing power. I'm just using a fraction of this over 1 million in purchasing power that we're all granted in our brokerage accounts to get ahead. And the key with margin is watching your available withdrawal and watching your maintenance. That's the secret to everything, okay? So you have to use margin to get ahead. If you don't use margin, it's going to take you a lot longer to get ahead, and you have to work your 9 to 5 forever. You have to use some margin, in my opinion, and then when you do use margin, watch your maintenance, because that controls your available withdrawal. Again, if you need help understanding maintenance, that's in my volume 3 e-guide. Okay, next we have Baba, all right, Alibaba. I saw a post by a member in Discord today, and that got my attention. Kudos to you. I appreciate all of my Discord members. When you buy my e-guides, you get free access to Discord for life. You also get my phone number for life, so keep that in mind. So Baba, okay, I went ahead and took a stab at Alibaba because look, yes, it's had a big run from 80 to 100. It's up huge, no doubt about it. But look at where it was. It was at 300, and China looks like it's just taking off, okay? So we've been buying KWeb, we've been buying Clip to get our exposure to China. Clip has been doing very well. Baba is up against the 100-day moving average here, so I'm sizing into Baba. I'm buying small, and then I'm buying the rest on dips, okay? So Yes, it's had a big move, okay? But what I like to do is I like to jab like a boxer, buy a little bit here, and then size in around the 90s or so. And then when we take off, if we do take off, then we should see, you know, a healthy gain there growth-wise from Babo, okay? Babo also pays a nice dividend. I think it's around 37%. Babo was up 5% today, and Babo was up 10. So you're getting some gains, you're getting some growth with Babo. And the thing that I like most about Babo, again, was that it's, if you can guess, probably guess, it was 50% maintenance, all right? So even for a Chinese name, it was cheap maintenance. And again, I believe in China. I believe in Clip. I believe in KWeb. I've been pushing these ticker symbols for a while, and Babo is now traded by Yieldmax, so why not own some Babo if it's 50% maintenance? Whatever losses we have, they'll cash flow over time through the dividend. But remember, you can't withdraw out of your account just because you're collecting these exorbitant premiums from Yieldmax and Defiance. You have to grow your account as well. So these can help grow your account, but they're also risky. I keep Yieldmax stocks very small, and I keep my staple stocks and my blue chip stocks at larger allocations. I keep my index plays at much larger allocations than stocks. All right, last up for you, I have Square, okay? Jeff, one of my dedicated members at Discord and in my YouTube lives, sent me this picture, this graphic from Yieldmax, and it's posted here on Twitter, okay, X, and you can see the total returns for their holdings, okay? And I like GUI, it's right in the middle. I'm trying to find names that are right in the middle that look due for a catch-up, okay? Disso, I own Disney, of course, to play Disney. That was 100% maintenance. That's why I had to get out of Disso. Disso was doing great, but then they changed the maintenance from 30 to 100. And I was looking for other opportunities in here, okay? PYPY, PayPal, it's doing quite well, actually. Will Ferrell is now doing commercials for PayPal, and I thought that was bullish. And, you know, it's showing a 30% return here. So you can't discount PayPal, but it's 100% maintenance, so I didn't want to necessarily recommend that to you all. But Square, okay, 42%. I found this one surprising, okay? So SQY, the returns there were 42%, and the dividend for Square is exorbitant. It's around 65% as it shows here, but the maintenance is 50%. So once again, with Square, we're getting low maintenance, and we're getting dividends that help give us growth. And if you look at a chart of SQY, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. You'll see that it's off of the highs. Okay, so Square, we have to look at a chart of Square. Look, it's right on the 200-day moving average. It's coiling up here, and it was at 250. So if we can just get a move back to old resistance here of around 100, okay, we'd see a nice gain in our shares. And so with Square, it's 50% maintenance, SQY, and I'm buying 1,000 of that, okay? I'm buying 1,000 of all these Yieldmax names, again, because you don't want to have too much in these Yieldmax names. And they're 50% maintenance, so they're not that bad. But the reason why I like Cornerstone is it's 30% maintenance, okay? Cornerstone and Defiance are both 30% maintenance. CRF, 30% maintenance, and Defiance is 30% maintenance as well. And I like to sell puts on Defiance because it's 20% maintenance. That's the real secret of selling puts with Defiance, and they help dollar cost average for you when you get assigned, okay? So they're going to erode, you're going to get assigned in due time, but they're just going to dollar cost average for you at the lows, and that's how you outperform with Defiance. You have to drip on the dips, okay? SQY, 42% gain, and that stock has done largely nothing for the past year. So we still need Yieldmax dividends to help qualify us for more income. Yieldmax and Defiance dividends, they give us more income to banks, okay? So we're getting that qualifying income for banks. Don't withdraw the amount of dividends that you're receiving from Yieldmax and Defiance, once again, because that's going to cannibalize your account. Although you can withdraw the dividends you receive from Cornerstone, because Cornerstone still keeps growing on its chart, okay? Cornerstone, if you remember that chart I showed you, it is growing on its long-term chart, and on a one-year chart, it's growing. So CRF is growing on a one-year chart. Look at this. It barely fell during the correction. But on a max time frame, on a 10-year, it falls because you have to play it properly between the rights offerings. When you buy my e-guide, you get free access to Discord for life, where we alert you of the Cornerstone rights offering announcement. That's what we originally created Discord for, okay? It was to give you the rights offering announcement. Members who bought my e-guide still wanted the alert when it occurs, so we started Discord for that. And now we have over 1,000 members in this Discord chat and pursuing the fire lifestyle. We have other channels here for your enjoyment as well. We have a Yieldmax, Defiance, Roundhill, Rex Funds channel, you name it, okay? Tax channel, crypto, okay? We have it all here at this Discord. Also, if you like my video, click like or subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon, everyone. Thanks.